Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 415. I am running the show live from my phone because apparently my computer has decided to break down. I don't know what is going on. I am waiting for my co-host. Um, it's been interesting and not in a good way. So I am waiting for the amazing Star Bustamante, the intrepid Star Bustamante, to join me momentarily. But while I'm waiting for her, I would like to thank the amazing, amazing people who support this broadcast. I'd like to thank House of Black Cat Magic. I'd like to thank wildhunt.org. Please give it all your support. I would like to thank everybody over at Mystic South, and I would like to thank everybody who takes care of the cats and defends the people who are not able to defend themselves and wasn't yesterday an unbelievable horror show. Um, Star is on the way and hopefully will get here soon. But don't let anybody tell you that yesterday was not the horrible thing that we all saw that it was. That woman and her wife in the car, they were not trying to harm anyone. It was disgusting. It was as disgusting as you saw it. And it was not having to do with anything about her trying to harm anyone. Uh, the gentleman, that's a loose term. The people who were surrounding her car were trying to block her, and the guy who said allegedly that she was trying to hit him was not even in the way. So this is another load of crap. By the way, you're going to hear a lot of swearing during this hour and probably some other things that are not fit for small ears. So yeah, it's not going to be the most pleasant, but yes, it is reality and it is what we're talking about today. So as soon as my co-host is able to snap in, um, and there is my co-host. You're going to have to use the other link that I just sent you because my computer decided to crap out, my friend. So I just sent you another link. Oh, don't you look good in blue? Hello there, my darling. Hello. I like it. I like it. My co-host is in a celebratory blue phase. I like it. I'm feeling kind of blue myself. Please jump on when you can from the link I just sent. Um, it's going to be an interesting one today. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Um, Terrifying. Terrifying. I know that the Senate, I believe it's the Senate that is um, voting right now about limiting the presidential war powers. I don't know what that's looking, but yes. Hi there. Hi there.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Anyway, yeah, so it's been, boy, it never ends, does it?
Nope.
Just does not end with this mess. The fire hose is back. It's on full blast. We were just talking about the fact that anything that any kind of bullshit that folks are hearing about yesterday, as far as um, the self-defense nonsense coming out of uh, Kristi Noem is a load of crap. No one was in danger except for the woman who got shot, obviously, and her wife,
Who got
who was in the
murdered?
car, who
Who
got
got
murdered,
murdered?
and her wife in the car with her. Those were the people in danger, obviously. No one was she was not using her vehicle to hurt anyone. She was merely trying to get out of the way. She was pulling around. If you see the video, and listen, you gonna believe them or your lion eyes? Sorry, I'm believing my lion eyes because we saw. And then you hear everybody screaming, what the fuck did you do that for? Why did you fucking shoot? I mean, literally, why did you fucking shoot her? Obviously, there's a breakdown in everything right now. I can't even. I can't even handle it. My
Well,
brain cannot handle it.
well, so you knew when I saw the footage from the press conference with the mayor.
That was great.
Yeah, and he's telling ICE to get the fuck out of his city,
Mm-hmm.
and he said fuck at least twice. Um, and he is perhaps one of the most, I would say, pretty mild mannered, even tempered. You know, I think he's a good mayor from everything that I've seen. But for him to be that angry
Yeah.
and yeah, I was like, oh, it's bad because he had seen the footage by the time he talked to the press. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, and
Here's the thing. You don't even have to be a good mayor. You just have to be a fucking human being. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for people to be fucking saints at this point. Just be human. Just human is enough. You understand? This is
well,
ridiculous.
so you know, one of the things about this that I think that we definitely need to. I don't know if you've already what you've already said, because I was driving.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries, and that's fine. Um, is so this was a nice white lady, right? Okay, granted she was a lesbian, but nice white lady, and this being shot like that is usually something that is reserved for, you know, uh, brown and black people. So, you know, people who are not white, that is the kind of treatment they get from law enforcement routinely, which is why uh, those communities are very anti-cop. So, unfortunately, this is not the first extrajudicial killing like this on American soil, and it will not be the last. And you know, the more people that call this bullshit out, I'm like, the spin that they are trying to put on all of this is just, you know, unbelievable. Uh, Apparently, the Times uh, did an analysis of the video that basically proves that everything that Trump administration and have said are lies. Like
Yes.
it's provable lies. So, uh,
Yeah, so that's, I mean, aside from the fact that that's nothing new, and I was having a conversation with somebody today about this, and he said, wow, even a white woman. And I'm like, yeah, how about that? Isn't that something? And, this is something other communities have, this is their normal day to day. And it bothers me that the outrage is so much more because she's a white woman. It does bother me. The outrage should be no matter who the person is, obviously. And, it just reminds me that as a society, this should not be a surprise. This is what a lot of white America deserves, myself included. I'm a person of privilege. I get it. I do not shy away from the fact that I have benefited from privilege. I talk about privilege with a lot of people all the time. Um, what's coming for us is something we deserve. It's not because we did things individually, you and me, as that we're bad people and that we've hurt other people, but as a white person,
as white people, the suffering that our kind has caused, there's a reckoning that happens at some fucking point in history. Things have to be set right. Okay? One way or another, there has to be a form of justice that comes from the gods or other people or from wherever. But the scales, as a person who believes in universal balance and this shit, you know, as a pagan, as a Wiccan, as a Gardnerian, whatever, I do believe that the universe has to balance out. So yeah, the evil that people do has to be rectified somehow, generationally or however. So yeah, this to me is not unexpected shit. And there's gonna be more shit like it. And people better get the fuck ready, because we're all targets. If we speak out, and I'm telling you, fucking speak out. I intend to continue speaking out. You hear me fucking yelling all the damn time. I'm not gonna, I'm getting louder as I get older. Not a problem. If I'm going, I want to go for a reason. I want to go for a good fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? Take
Well,
me. Shit. Give me a badge of honor. I'll fucking scream from the rooftops. Not a problem. If I go out defending somebody, fuck yeah. Absolutely. Whatever. But I'm going to go out on my fucking feet. I'll tell you that much. Because what's happening to people, let me tell you what, they're eventually coming for all of us. We have said this 1,000,001 times before. It's very true. No matter who you are, there is going to be an issue for you that is going to be persecuted, whether it's your skin, your gender, or lack thereof. No matter what your income level is, you could be the richest motherfucker in the world. At some point, you are going to be somebody's fucking target. So I'm going to tell you right now, no matter who you are, you belong in this fight with us. Because if you're not at the table, you will fucking wind up on the menu. Thank you, Ann Richards.
yeah, very, that's very, very true. Uh, well, I have to say, I am very disappointed in the news coverage of all of this so far. Um, I mean,
But what does this have to do with the Epstein files?
well,
You know?
it's a great distraction, you know. It's a great distraction,
But child rape
but
is okay, right? That's still, that still gets to stand, right?
yeah.
Unbelievable. A quick collapse. I've never seen a country collapse so fast in my, we're folding like a cheap lawn chair. I swear I've never seen shit like this in my life. I thought other countries could be banana republics. We are the most slippery banana peel I've ever seen. Have you ever seen shit like this go down this fast? It's less than a year. Fewer than 12 fucking months. From a game show host with daddy issues. This is what we're dealing with.
Well, I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. Things are bad and they're probably going to get worse. However,
You're better than me.
again, I'm going to ask, what's the tipping point? Um, let's talk about what happened with Venezuela.
Absolutely. Oh, right. Oh, gee, the other 90 things that happened in the past week. Yeah, Venezuela. Oh, was that on your bingo card as an acquisition? I hadn't measured for the drapes in that room yet. Go ahead, tell the folks what happened.
Well, okay, so I mean, I think everybody probably already knows this, but yeah, and I would like to. So my birthday was Saturday, and I
Uh-huh.
got up to the news that that the U.S. government went in and invaded Venezuela and kidnapped Maduro and
And
his
his
wife,
wife.
Celia Flores, and then transported them back to the U.S. to stand trial. Well, to be indicted for narco terrorism, whatever the hell that means, because I mean Venezuela really doesn't. There, any drugs that come out of Venezuela are usually going to Europe, not coming to the U.S. Um, uh,
Yeah.
and
How about
then
that?
immediately after, uh, Trump basically announced that it was about the oil more than anything else, and that we are now going to take control of Venezuela's oil, and that really that oil belongs to us anyway. I mean, just more Mad Hatter shit. Um,
Hmm.
One of the things in particular that I think is really interesting is, I mean, there's like no rules anymore. There's no laws that, like, this administration is off the hook, right? So,
Yep.
um, who knows what's going to happen with all of that? And then you know, the same day, then he began saying that Colombia was maybe next, and Cuba and Mexico, that they all better, start minding, doing whatever it is that Trump wants them to do, because they're on the list. Then, as if that was not enough, then he keeps bringing up, well, so Stephen Miller, who's just, I absolutely detest and think is a fucking raging Nazi, uh, his wife posted a picture of the map of Greenland with an American flag, you know, uh, with the stars and stripes on it. So the whole continent is like this weird flag. Um, and uh and all she said was, she posts this picture and then says soon, um which Denmark, well, first of all, within what, like 6 hours, 12 hours, most of the European Union countries, heads of state published a statement saying that, they stand with
NATO,
Denmark. And
yeah, NATO's like, fucking try it. Fuck around and find out with that.
well, so uh
It isn't good.
one of the things that uh in particular that should be noted is that if you go back to 1916, the US signed an agreement with Denmark and paid $25 million to acquire St. Thomas and St. Croix and one other, whatever the other third island is in that chain, which Denmark had control of. And they did so also agreeing that they would not interfere with Denmark's expansion into Greenland. So, so basically there's a, it's not necessary. I don't even think it's really a treaty. It was like Denmark was like, we'll sell you these islands, but for this amount of money, but you also have to agree to stay the fuck away from Greenland, because
Mm-hmm.
it's ours and we're taking it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole nother argument to be made for colonizers about that, but putting that aside for the moment, so uh, there's already, an over 100-year agreement on who fucking controls Greenland, and it ain't us. Then, so they keep talking about this, that they need, that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security, which is just entirely made up bullshit. we have a military base on Greenland that probably houses more people than the entire population of Greenland. So why we would need Greenland? I mean, it certainly is not for uh, any kind of national security reasons. Um, there's so
All
many
right.
things
So,
wrong with all of this. Let me just one
yes.
more thing on this
Yes.
is that
Okay.
Stephen Miller said on CNN in an interview with Jake Tapper that
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
that basically it is our right to take any land that we want to. That it's our right because we have the military power and might, and so that's how the real world works, and that we can just go in and take any land that we want because we we have the military power to do so. Yeah.
First of all, that little incel Q-tip, I don't care if he's married. I think he is the most hideous, repressed, self-loathing piece of shit that ever walked, even more than Trump, even more than Steve Bannon. Even if you put all of these fucknuts together, he is the most hideous little creature. I can't. I just anyway. All right.
Yeah.
So I
No,
have a theory.
I
I
agree.
have a
Yeah.
theory. All
Let's hear
right.
it.
So here's my fucked up theory about why all of this is happening. My theory of why this is all happening is because I think between Xi Jinping and Putin and Trump, where Trump thought he and Putin were friends, they are not any longer. Not like they were. I think that trust got broken because Trump couldn't control the narrative and he couldn't be the big shot who solved the problem between Ukraine and Russia. So therefore, we are now going to divide the world into three sectors. There will be the Russian sector, the China sector, and the American sector. This is why he is picking on the locations that he is picking on. He is trying to divide up the world, and three people will run it, one to each part. If necessary, I think that there's going to be the big war will be between Russia and the United States. And that is his plan. I'm not saying it makes any fucking sense. I'm not saying that at all. I think in his squirrely little brain, I think the worm jumped from RFK Jr. straight into Trump's. And he thinks he's going to have enough firepower because it's not enough. We're a tiny country in comparison. You have to have more land mass to maneuver all of our munitions to other locations in order to make us more powerful. We do not have enough territories right now to defend ourselves against the expanse of Russia. I don't believe. And I think that's why Russia wants is doing as many land grabs as they are as well. And I think that's part of why Putin wants Poland, in addition to all of his other fantasies and reasons. So I think this is why we're trying to grab up as much land as possible so that we can expand our reach.
Well, so I mean, so that doesn't necessarily sound crazy to me. However, I think that there's another piece of this that is getting missed, and that
Well, I mean,
is
in addition to the resources, I mean, that's already baked into the cake, obviously. I'm saying, but in addition to the obvious, this is why.
well, and they can try, but first of all, Putin's in pretty bad shape at the moment. Um, you know, he is. First of all, Russia is heavily has exhausted their. They are exhausting. The war is wearing them down. They are exhausting their resources, and they don't have the troops anymore. They simply do not have the troops that they need to maintain the war that they've been waging on Ukraine. So I feel like they're less of a threat at this point
Mm-hmm.
than what they would like to be, because they're running out of people that they can send to the front line,
Mm-hmm.
quite frankly, and they're in debt. They have spent a shit ton of money um, with this war, and a lot of their assets are frozen still. Um, and I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon. So you know, I don't think that um, you know I would be more concerned about what China is doing, because China does have the resources. And not only that, I mean, fuck, they could just drop people on us and have a damn near endless supply.
Yeah.
Um, so, I think that is, and they have been emerging over the course of the last, you know, decade, that they have, you know, whereas before, like, their infrastructure was lagging behind. There were any number of issues um, with China for starting any kind of major conflict. Um, they're a lot smarter in that they're not going to overextend themselves and try to go into places that they know that they can't win. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I do think that part of the whole Greenland thing is, I mean, that would be if the US were to try to take Greenland by force or any other measures, really, other than just
Mm-hmm.
running their mouths like they have been doing, it would basically dissolve NATO, right?
Yep.
It it would dissolve NATO, and that would be the best gift that Putin could possibly get, because he's been trying to end NATO for as long as he's been uh, a head of state. So,
Right.
and I think that that's something to not. But he's not in good shape, and as far as the his military goes, and uh, things are not looking good for him at the moment either, because the U.S. just agreed to that if they don't come to the table and make good on the promises that they've made,
Mm-hmm.
that um, the sanctions will be put in place.
Mm.
So that happened yesterday, I think. But so there's that piece of it, and you know, Putin can't afford the war to go on much longer, because
Mm-hmm.
they have Russia has drained its assets pretty much in order to continue on with this war. I mean, you look at the number of I'm sorry,
You're
I think I
fine.
messed it. I'm sure it was cat hair. Um, that's a real danger around here. Okay,
I know.
but I think that um, he's exhausting his resources, and really can't continue
Mm-hmm.
on the trajectory that things are on. I mean, Tim Mox, who was he was originally an NPR correspondent, and
Yeah.
spent a lot of time at the beginning of the war in Ukraine. Like, he was just driving from one side of Ukraine to the other for like the first year or so of of the war. And every day he posts how many the numbers of, like, losses both in, in troops, in machinery, all of that. And I mean, they're staggering. I mean, absolutely staggering how much Russia is losing on a daily basis. So, and none of that, where are they going to go to replace it? I mean, yeah, they can buy shit from, uh, I mean, we already know that Putin has tapped North Korea. And then there have been fighters from other countries, Korea being one of them. But there has to be something in it for the countries or leaders that agree to send troops. And if it's looking like nothing, this is not going the way that Putin wanted it to, then he's going to have even more trouble not only getting troops but also getting funding, because he can't access uh, a lot of the country's resources because of this war. So we'll see what happens. But China is who is the bigger threat in my opinion. But then there's
Yeah.
also this weird thing, okay, like with the weird tech bro thing, right? So,
Yeah.
because wasn't it Peter Thiel or one of his ilk that was wanted to buy Greenland and had actually gone to Greenland and tried to talk to the people there about that they
Yeah.
should, so, and they have this idea that they're going to set up some kind of, free state bullshit. I don't know. But I think that's part of what's driving the whole Greenland thing as well. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But again, I'm going to ask, where is the tipping point on all of this? Because I feel like we have been on the edge of critical mass for a while. So, you know, when is enough enough, and when is somebody going to step in and do anything?
Well, I think it, well, if you ask me, the point is we've already tipped. We're already a rogue nation.
To a degree, yes, but I don't think that I don't think we've hit the vanishing point, if you will. Uh,
Really?
no,
I think
I
we've
don't.
lost all credit. I think we've lost all credibility on the international stage. No one
Oh,
wants to work with us. No one can trust us. We don't fucking trust us. We're killing our own people in the street as per
mhm,
usual, and it's escalated. We're
yeah.
deploying troops on our own people. I mean, where else do you want to tip to?
Well, so yes, all of those things are true, and there have certainly been, you know, yeah, our credibility is for shit right now, but that doesn't mean that it can't be turned around, uh, and it will take, you know, years, if not decades, to regain uh, trust from the international community. But I mean, look at, we as a country have done some pretty shitty things over, the 250 years that we've been a country, which is not saying that others have not, but we definitely have done things that we, had no business doing. So I feel like, part of this is those chickens coming home to roost. But again, I still think that, you know we have the potential uh, to right the ship, as it were, and to get back on track, if we can get rid of, you know the people that are in power currently. So, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. It's happened once or twice.
Yeah, on occasion. I mean,
Uh,
listen, I've never seen us more willing to kill our own people, and I'm not talking about yesterday's shooting. I'm talking about the fact that we are a nerd to school shootings. We are a nerd to people losing their health care. We are a nerd to people still suffering from devastating climate effects, yourself included.
oh,
Okay. So, do we have the potential to be a good country, a great country? Sure. We always have. Were we? You tell me. You tell me when we were great. And I'll tell you, it's something to strive for. It's something we're never going to achieve. I would love the idea of the perfect America, or even something that resembles the shit our families used to talk about when we were little. I never had that. Never had that dream. Never had the house, the picket fence, the 2.5 and the garage and all that. No, that was somebody else's dream. That was bullshit sold to me by my family. You know, I can't even. I worry less some days about my own kids because my own kids are white than I do about some of my friends getting home safely because they don't look like my kids. It's a,
first,
it's insanity. It's insanity. And now
fir-
I'm going to just fucking worry about everybody because it don't matter anymore. Everybody's got an equal opportunity to get killed for trying to do the right thing, for trying to protect their neighbors, I mean, just for being fucking decent human beings and saying, no, ICE, we don't want you in our fucking neighborhoods, harming our citizens, our people who are trying to just earn a decent living and taking care of their families, people we've known for years, people that you're sending to places that they never even saw because their families brought them here when they were infants. Or maybe their moms were pregnant with them when they got here and they never saw that country ever, 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 ever.
Mhm.
And now we're just going to kill people who were born here anyway, so it really doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you live. None of that shit matters. If you disagree with this administration, you are a target.
Well,
That
I
is what
think
it
that,
is coming down to. This is the shit we've talked about for years. This is the shit we talked about in 2016, and everybody was like, "Oh, you guys, you're so over the top. You're so histrionic. Oh, blah blah blah." Yeah, tell me now. Fucking tell me now.
well, yeah, we're definitely uh, we're definitely not in a good place. That's for sure.
Yeah.
However,
So I know
I
you're
I
my
still
bright
think,
star. My bright spot. The bright spot in my otherwise doom and gloom is my star. Go ahead, my star.
well, so when I talk about the tipping point, I'm talking about what is it going to take for the people of this country to push back. And I mean, we've already seen some pretty good pushback, I
Yep,
mean,
yep,
look at how many people turned out uh for the No Kings. And I might add that while that is a very visible, event that happened, and there've been two of them, there'll be more. But there are also things going on every day in this country of people who are basically good people who believe in the values that this country allegedly, has stood for. And I think that it's important to recognize that we can still, okay, things are never going to be the same. Um, they're never going to be the same.
And
We have definitely, you know, crossed the Rubicon to a degree.
Bumpa! Rubicon! Yes, we've crossed the
Uh,
Rubicon.
I mean, we definitely have, but I still think that that doesn't mean. So what if? And hear me out here.
Okay.
What if we were able to really claim the ideals of this country and put them into action, and not just like what the founding fathers said, but to build out on that, and really make that go somewhere. Because I think that the majority of people in this country are basically good people. Most of them, I would say the majority of them, are not racist assholes. We all have a little racism in us, if you're a white person, because it is part of it's baked into our culture, if you will. But I still believe that, uh, we have the ability to flip this around, to make America with in what you and I would like to see, because there are many of us who believe in uh, equality, and that diversity makes us stronger. Um, there are plenty, there are plenty of people that believe just like we do, and some really smart people who believe just like we do. So I still think that there is the potential for uh, for us to reclaim what has been lost for the moment. I really do. I think that that is still a possibility, but only if we are willing to fight for it. And that means that every day you have to show up. That every day you hear some bullshit being tossed around, that you have to be willing to stand up and say, no, no, I don't think so. That is incorrect. And also recognize that it is not just the US that is grappling with all of this. I mean, we could, if we had another hour, we could talk about what's been going on in the UK, and also in Europe, and other places of where we are seeing more of this, racism, more of the class wars, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that the reason that it is so prevalent is because it is the death throes of that ideology. That's all I've got. But I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and anytime I hear somebody that mouths some kind of Nazi bullshit, I'm going to fucking punch them in the throat. And then I'm going to tape them to a chair, and I'm going to just talk to them until their ears fall off. And then, if that doesn't work, well, there's always hogs. Um,
And that's true. And I'm not saying stop fighting. I will never stop fighting. I will never stop screaming. I will never stop fighting. I will never stop being a thorn in the side of the right, no matter what happens. I'm just saying I'm not going down without a fight.
mm-hmm. Well, but you're also kind of saying that, well, it's too late, or, and all of that. And I think that I don't think it's ever too late. I don't think it's ever too late. They're, you know, the longer this goes on, the longer it is going to take to reclaim, you know, any semblance of balance and sanity. That is for sure. But I mean, I also think that, you know, we can still turn this around. And, you know, are we going to be able to save, you know, the corporation that the government funded to, you know, take care of NPR and PBS? No, it's too late. Now,
Well,
can we fucking take Trump's name off of the Kennedy Center? You better fucking believe it. Um, I have somebody that I follow online was like, I'm here for that at the first opportunity, and I'm like, and so are the many of it. I would fucking travel all the way up to help chisel that shit off of the building, um, which would be largely symbolic, of course, after you fired the whole fucking, you know, rotten board that he put in place. But my bigger point here is that we can still, it's going to take us longer the longer it goes on, but we can still turn things around, and we can actually be not just, we'll never be what we were before. And I don't know that
right.
that's a bad thing. We can be better than we ever were. We'll be like the
We
bionic
need to be.
We'll be like the
We need
Bionic
to be.
Man. We'll be smarter,
Yeah.
faster, better than ever before. I mean, and I think that is possible. It's possible every day.
Of course it is. But my point is, I won't live to see it. And it'll never happen if we don't fight for it.
Right.
It'll never happen if we don't continue to fight. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to be here to see it. I know that. I'm pretty damn sure of it. Because the damage that was caused in such a short amount of time has been so ruinous to this country and the reputation and the hearts of our own people that we're willing to let people die without medication, that
We have
we've sunk that
we've
we've
always
sunk
been willing to do that. We have
it's
always been willing to do that. Okay, I want to take you back to
and it's
before the
worse.
ACA.
Yeah,
Before
well, guess what? That's why the ACA was put in place. And
yeah,
now we are as shitty as before. We've reverted back to being even shittier people that we were before the ACA, before abortion became legal, before people were actually taken care of and looked after. Yeah,
yeah.
we're reverting back to all that, and that bullshit isn't stopping anytime soon. So when I tell you that I feel like I'm not going to be alive to see the world actually get better, but I'm still going to fight for it, because if we stop fighting, people after us will not have a reason to fight at all. Yes, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Well, I think that, you know, even as bad as things are in this moment, they could be even worse.
And
And
they might get that way.
they might. This is true. This is
Yep.
true. But every time I read the news and I think about where we are with things, you know, the one thing that just keeps ringing in my head is like, nobody's coming to save us. You
Right.
know, we have to save ourselves, and I think that is the bigger point here, is that we have to save ourselves. You know, which means that you're fighting, uh, not just for yourself, you're fighting for future generations as well. And
Exactly.
that's really where we are in this moment. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
think I think that, you know, I honestly believe that we can create a country, we can recreate a country our country to be everything that we know that it can be, but it means that everybody has to participate. And
Yep.
and so I believe that is possible, and I will take that. I will take that to my. It'll be my dying words. Like, don't fucking give up. Like, I know we can do this,
I
and
know.
I believe that. I mean, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, well, you've always been more positive than me, so we'll end with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any last thoughts on today?
Just, do your best to stay safe out there, because you're putting your lives on the line every time you defend somebody, but it's worth it, I think. You
Well,
know?
here's another fun thought. Okay. So
Yeah.
another Republican died, like, and so now the count in the House is 218 to 213. Uh, at this rate, and Dems keep winning all of these special elections too. At this rate, we don't even have to have the midterms for the Dems to retake control of Congress. It's kind of like a war of attrition at this point,
They're
because they're
just
dropping.
aging out.
Well, okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene just like left, and then
Yeah.
what was his name, Mafala or something like that.
Uh-huh.
In California, he died suddenly. He was only
Yeah.
65. Yeah, I mean, at the rate they're going, I mean, maybe. Ooh, what if some of these hexes are working and we're just picking them off like one by one? So it's only 5 seats from us having control. Five seats.
Imagine 5. I don't know. I
Count.
just
I need to get some of the Sesame Streets, like the count, so like when we say stuff like that, then I can just like interject that into the show.
one more, one senator, one.
See, it's catchy.
Very. I just hope it's not catching. All right. Enough of that. Say goodnight, Star.
Good night, Star.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Stay safe out there.